And the truth is, 250,000 jobs are disappearing since the blunder budget.
Today, there was such a speech in Parliament. As if seeing the bottom of the economy wasn't enough, we also watched Richard Tice, who came in like a superhero, deliver his scathing remarks to the government. But the comedy of it all was the government's response. I felt like applauding because we don't see such brazenness every day. Why is this video important? Because this speech isn't just about numbers. It's a showdown between a government that has lost the people's trust and an opposition that says, I can do better. But which is more dangerous? That's the real question. In this video you're about to watch, you'll see how heavy the truths underlying the words really are. Where is this country heading? Whose pockets is this economy draining? And who is still living in a fantasy world? Don't forget to like and subscribe, because someone needs to speak the truth in this country, especially the truths the BBC won't tell.
Richard Tice.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Well, the Chancellor inherited supposedly a black hole, and she's dug a crater into which public confidence is plunging. Business confidence is plunging. And the truth is, 250,000 jobs are disappearing since the blunder budget. And despite all the noise we hear from the benches opposite, the reality is that government spending is completely out of control. Inflation is up, unemployment is up, government borrowing is up, and the cost of government borrowing is up. And the only thing that's going down are jobs and GDP. But I have some good news for the Chancellor. In the 10 councils that we control, Madam Deputy Speaker, that we control, we're already identifying savings of hundreds of millions of pounds. She may want to learn some lessons. That, Madam Deputy Speaker, is why reform is leading in the polls.
Chancellor.
Well, I noted recently on a podcast that the honourable member said that he wanted to cut government spending by £300 billion. Well, that would mean getting rid of the whole of the NHS and the whole of the defence budget. We have increased spending by £300 billion to invest in our schools, our hospitals, our transport and our defence. I know that the party on those benches is soft on defence, soft on workers' rights and want to privatise our NHS. I don't think that is the priorities of the British people.
Now, even if you don't like what Richard Tice says, it's hard not to agree with him in some respects. Think about it. The government has control of the country's budget, but it still needs to take lessons from local councils on how to save money. Look, there's a cliche in this country: Labour spends, Tories cut. But what's happening now? The Tories are both spending and messing up. Inflation is up, unemployment is up, and they're still wriggling out of it by saying, but we're investing in schools, as if the heating is working in the classrooms and the children aren't freezing. And Tice says 250,000 jobs have been lost. That sentence alone is a slap in the face to the government's growth fairy tale. But the response? The government's best move, declaring the opposition enemies of the NHS. Clearly they've learned from Starmer. Look, this "we're saving the NHS" game is so stale. It comes out before every election, disappears after every crisis. The truth is, both the right and the left are slowly pushing for the privatisation of the NHS, but admitting that would cost them votes, so they pretend otherwise. Tice's proposal for a £300 billion cut is another mystery. Sure, there's waste, I'll give you that. But £300 billion means sweeping away the very foundations of the budget. The NHS, defence, social welfare, even Trump wouldn't go that far. But do you know what the issue is? This nation is now looking for realism. They want to see a plan, not a fantasy. The government, however, is still trying to lull the masses to sleep by saying, look at the numbers, the economy is growing. We can't be happy just because GDP has increased, because that increase isn't going to us, it's going to BlackRock. Now I ask you, was Richard Tice right? Has this government spending really gotten out of control? Or is it all legitimate, as the government claims, under the guise of investment? Write your comments, let's discuss. But please, no keyboard warriors. Just real ideas. Whether you're right wing or left wing, if we don't start asking the right questions, we'll keep getting lulled to sleep with the same old fairy tales. If you like the video, subscribe and turn on the notifications. If there's still someone in this country speaking the truth, their voice needs to be heard louder.